Hi everyone, this is Eerie Knight here of the Pseudo Posse from Taco Bear's Body. Ever wonder how the armor you wear actually protects you? What do all these numbers mean? How about the mod you slot into your armor? The skill points and perks you apply to reduce incoming damage? The difficulty settings you choose? How do they all work in combination? Are the effects additive or multiplicative? Wonder? No more! In this video, we are going to conduct a series of tests to determine how damage mitigation works in 7 Days to Die. By the end of this video, you will understand how damage reduction works, and I will provide an explicit mathematical formula to calculate incoming damage based on all the factors I mentioned. Now let's get to it. Let's make things clear from the get-go. We are only looking at this number here. Our first step in conducting this experiment is to establish a control. Our character is currently level 2 with no skill points spent. We're going to use Adventure difficulty, the game's default setting, where absolutely nothing, maybe some clothes for Taco Bear, and take some hits from a variety of zombies. First zombie up, Party Girl. Proceed to wail on us for science. Next up, a Feral White. Last but not least, a Radiated Lumberjack. Proceed, good sir. Now that we've collected some initial data points, we have an... Hey, wait for the next test! We have an understanding of how much damage these zombies do to us. Next step is to apply some armor to see what happens. At this point, we are ignoring the other parameters, such as increasing the difficulty level, adding mods to our armor, and spending any skill points for damage reduction. We will add these later once we know how armor itself mitigates damage. For now, let us continue with the same zombies we used in the previous test wearing different types of armor. We will proceed with padded, scrap, leather, iron, military, and steel armor sets. Here we go! That was rough, but necessary for science. Warning, spreadsheets approaching. Now let's look at the data we gathered and determine what trends and relationships exist. I ran 10 tests for each zombie and each set of armor. These categories include no armor, padded, scrap, leather, iron, military, and steel. The cumulative armor ratings for all armor pieces in a set are totaled and provided in this row for each armor set. Assuming the armor rating is a percentage, reduce the damage we receive from wearing no armor by the percentage of the armor rating, and we get the results in the bottom yellow box. Looking at the padded column, for example, we can see our expected damage from the Party Girl is 5.8544, and the damage we actually took was 6. Likewise, for the Feral White in the same column, we would expect to take 10.977 damage, but we took 11. Looking at the column in which we wore military armor, we expected to take 6.2325 damage from the Feral White with an armor rating of 58.45. Instead, we took 6 damage. What these examples tell us is the calculations are rounded either up or down to the nearest whole number. This is confirmed as the total damage sustained over successive hits is what you would expect from the rounded number versus including the decimals in the calculation. For example, if we wore steel armor with a rating here of 75.98 and took 3.603 damage from a Feral White over 5 successive hits, we would receive about 18 damage in total if the damage calculation was not rounded per hit. However, we actually received 20 damage in total, meaning the individual calculations are rounded up. In this case, 3.603 is rounded up to 4. It should also be noted that all armor pieces are calculated the exact same way. No special treatment is given to any armor set. Now that we understand how armor works, let us slot in some mods to see if it simply adds to the damage mitigation percentage or if it is multiplicative. Intuitively, I think this will be additive, but I don't want to assume anything. Now that we know all armor pieces are treated the same way, we'll be doing the next test using only iron armor. Cue zombie slapping montage. This particular spreadsheet confirms our suspicions. Since the game itself simply adds the armor rating from the mods to the armor rating from the actual armor, we simply take the total armor rating and calculate it in the same way. We can see the armor rating as shown in this row is exactly 10 higher when including mods from all armor pieces. The iron column here is from the first spreadsheet for reference. Our calculations for wearing iron armor with mods still fits with the model we developed thus far. Next, we will proceed with applying some skill points to pain tolerance and the fortitude attribute and see what happens. Again, we will do the same tests. For brevity's sake, I condensed the results here. The basic takeaway is that pain tolerance is treated as a multiplier. So to calculate our damage, we need to multiply the contribution of the armor times the contribution from pain tolerance times the base incoming damage. Given this formula, I computed the expected incoming damage in the yellow box here, and once again, with rounding, we get the results that we would expect. Now there are 3 perks that I've noticed that also reduce damage. These include Batter Up Volume 2, Magnum Enforcer Volume 2, and Urban Combat Volume 7. I did many tests with varying combinations of no armor, pain tolerance, and 1 perk, then subsequently adding armor to the experiment and having all 3 active contributions. I also added 2 perks using both Urban Combat Volume 7 and Magnum Enforcer Volume 2, and got some funky results. Essentially, each perk worked as expected when using only one individually. However, when using both perks simultaneously, the results obtained showed I was only getting the benefit of a single perk, which to me seems like a bug. So instead of getting more than a 5% reduction, as I would expect, I only got the 5. So, unfortunately, I can't determine how multiple perks would be formulated here. However, in general, the perks also act as a multiplier. So, we have the incoming damage, times armor rating, times pain tolerance, times the perk, all of which equals the total damage received. Finally, we need to take into account the difficulty settings. Here is a condensed summary of what I found when increasing difficulty. Increasing the difficulty increased the incoming damage as expected, and using the same calculations that we have previously done gave us the results we expected. This would seem to me to corroborate our formula. What we get from this is the contribution from the difficulty summarized here. The difficulty setting also acts as a direct multiplier to the previous equation. Now that we have all the components, let's put everything together. We can calculate our incoming damage by multiplying the difficulty setting times the base entity damage from the zombie times the reduction contributions from total armor rating, skills, and perks. Here is a more verbose definition of each of these parameters. The difficulty setting is expressed as a percentage with the given percentages correlating to the appropriate difficulty setting. Base entity damage is the damage a zombie does to the player on Nomad difficulty wearing no armor. The total armor rating is simply a result of adding the armor rating plus the armor rating from any mods. These are also expressed as a percentage, not a decimal. Skill points and perks are also expressed as a percentage and are taken directly from the in-game descriptions. For those clamoring for an explicit example, here's one provided. Feel free to pause to take a look. I sincerely hope this video has been informative and will help you decide how to prioritize your armor selections, skill, and perk choices to best support your playstyle. Remember, a party girl on Insane does more damage than a feral wight on Nomad, so keep in mind the difficulty level as you choose how to protect yourself. Stay safe, my friends. This is Eerie Knight of the Pseudoposse signing off. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have something very important to do. Nope, gotta go this way. Hold on, need to grab something. Where did I put it? Over here. There we go. What the hell are they? There they are. Vengeance shall be mine. This is for hitting me non-stop through all these damn godforsaken tests. This is too slow. Eat the bullets, you assholes. Ah.